cranky Subaru over there just deciding to leave. Bye-bye. But anyways, this is the start of a brand new video sponsored by the P&W fall leaves. This is my favorite time of the year, honestly, just beside winter. But let's talk about this thing right there. All right, y'all, so we are back. It's been a couple of weeks since our last video, but I've just been dealing with a few things with the car and whatnot, so haven't had a chance to get this video out to you. But here we go, the next video in the series. This is the all about bumpers, all about specifically the F44 bumpers that I have on my crosstrek. As you can tell, it's fall out here, so we're gonna have these awesome leaves around us instead of a stupid garage, but pretty happy about that. So people ask me all the time what this bumper is and who makes it, if they make them for other cars, etc., etc. The short answer to that is the company's called F44. They make off-road bumpers, a couple of skid plates, and actually the wheels that are on the car too, so I'll show you those in a minute. But they make those products specifically for Subaru crosstreks and only Subaru crosstreks. The wheels technically can fit quite a few different models, but in terms of the bumpers, they are specifically for Subaru crosstrek, first gen, and they also fit second gen. Probably need some time to confirm fitment with third gens, but as of right now, most of your vehicles out there, most of your Subaru crosstreks should fit just fine. Yeah, so anyways, F44, super cool. So why did I choose this bumper from F44 over some of the other bumpers out there, or going something more custom? I picked it up when I was unsure of what I was doing. I've had this bumper for dang near 3 years, something like that, and loved every minute of it, keep that in mind. But not only do I think it looks amazing, I love the aggressive look with the bull bar, the higher clearance up here. The stock bumper used to go damn near down this low, so you're getting a lot more clearance as well. But it is damn tough. There was an incident on trail where I was in some super slippy conditions and slipped going forward and bashed this front end right into a rock. It's kind of hard to tell, but you can see this dent right here. If I hadn't had the bumper on, we would have been talking about a broken radiator, broken core support, and a lot more challenging of a day than being able to just drive away and have a little bit of cosmetic damage down in there. So F44 bumpers, or off-road bumpers in general, I mean, you get a lot of things from them. You're talking winches, like that guy right there, it's kind of floppy. You're talking higher clearances on the sides and coming up your approach angle. You're talking durability. This is gonna survive a lot more than my stock bumper ever did. I would hit it all the time and the plastic would just pop out or break clips or stuff like that. I don't really have that issue anymore because it's all supported in the front. And of course, you get some awesome places to mount your lights. For me, I live here in the P&W. It's 3 o'clock now and it's already pretty dark out. And by 4:30 tonight, it'll be fully blacked out. So having a place to put all these lights, and securely, mind you, these things are not going anywhere, is pretty important. So definitely a pretty important aspect of why I chose a bumper. All right, so now looking at the side profile here, you can kind of get an idea. It basically gets cut. You're cutting your plastic bumper from the front, kind of in the middle there, just straight across. You are given a template when you purchase your bumper that you kind of put here, do a couple of measurements, cut of lines of tape, stuff like that, and then using like an angle grinder or a Dremel, you can cut the plastic of your bumper right along those lines and get it to match up pretty dang well. This is my first time really cutting a bumper, so it went relatively well. But all things considered, it's held up. So that's what matters for me. Not having the option for a winch is kind of a waste of the space, a waste of your money, in my opinion. If you're spending, a fair bit of money. By the way, this thing, let's cover that. This thing, I believe it's around $1,300 or $1,400 before shipping. Of course, shipping can be a bit of a challenge. I know that F44 is always open to people picking it up if they're in his area. He's located in California, but we'll say base price of around $1,500 for this bumper. And if you're spending $1,500, you want all of this capability, not just a metal piece in the front. So having that ability for the winch makes it that much more better over something like Relations Raceworks or Relations Race Wheel. Some custom bumpers are made without them. I have friends with bumpers that do not have these, and they spent even more money. And not having that capability is a bit of a challenge in my mind. So I just wanted to throw this clip in to show you some real world action of the off-road bumper. These steel bumpers kind of giving me that extra bit of clearance that I normally wouldn't have from like a stock bumper trying to get through these obstacles. All right, and of course we've covered the front bumper, all of its benefits when we're talking durability, clearances, light mounting, and of course winch, not to mention aesthetics. I think it looks amazing. Let's go back here and we can cover the rear bumper. The rear bumper is same kind of flat steel design and super strong. I have smacked down on it. You can kind of tell right there, right in there, you can kind of see it's curved up, and that's from a really hefty smack dropping down into a hole. So it can really sustain quite a lot of weight or quite a lot of damage. So this thing is super durable and super amazing. Originally I just picked up the front bumper and I waited about 6 months to get this rear bumper, and I wish I hadn't waited, because I actually ended up getting rear-ended, I think 2 times in the time frame that I was looking to get this guy. And I can guarantee if I had had this, I would have been in a lot better shape than without it, obviously. This thing is one big hunk of metal, and it's going to withstand quite a bit. And once again, this improves my departure angle a good bit. And even more importantly, gives me somewhere to put my spare tire. As you guys know from my other video, I always love having a spare tire with me. I've needed oftentimes even more than just one spare tire. Sometimes you are out there wheeling and you end up needing 2. But always having minimum the 1 tire on here is super important. So once again, we're talking about having the ability to run around with your spare tire tied to the back rather than, obviously these tires are quite a bit bigger than stock. I cannot fit them in my spare wheel well anymore. These tires are about 3 inches larger overall diameter, as well as wider by a bit. So they just do not fit inside the car anymore. Obviously Crosstrek's one downfall is that they do not have as much space as say an Outback or even a Forester. So throwing one in the back seat it takes up quite a bit of space, and once these things get muddy, you don't want to do that either. I used to run it on the roof beforehand, and that's great too, but you get all that extra drag up on the roof, which is also not ideal. So by having an option like this to put it on the back, I'm saving a lot of usability on the exterior as well as inside the cab of the truck or cab of the Trek. So having this is super amazing. As you can see, looking at it right now, it is not centered, and on the one hand, having it centered would be a lot more aesthetically pleasing, but the way first gen Crosstreks work, you have your backup camera right here on the driver's side of your hatch. And so by offsetting this tire, I'm actually able to retain probably 50 to 70% of my rear view backup. So I can still use it enough when backing up, parking, etc., like stuff like that, and even having some view out of my rear view mirror. So this is pretty amazing. Awesome little quirk about first gens. Second gen crosstrek, they changed it to being a center mounted camera, so not really as important for you guys, but for first gen treks, definitely an awesome option. Once again, this bumper is made by F44. We have an amazing man over there making these awesome products for us, and by gosh, he makes some pretty great stuff. Some really cool things about it is the integration for backup lights. So these are actually not what they came with originally. I think since I purchased this, he now offers these dynamics lights, but these are basically the same overall vibe as the flush mounted lights he used to send it with. But basically these are super cool flush mounted reverse lights. These are the flood pattern from Dynamics, and the best part about these is that they have a red backlight, and so these actually have an additional functionality beyond just being additional reverse lights, because they actually have the red light tied into my brakes. So these are an additional set of brake lights, which when you're on trail or even on road in inclement weather, having that additional 2 points of brake lights. We're talking 1 brake light, 2 brake light, 3, 4, and 5 in the middle. So having 5 brake lights makes quite a bit of a difference for safety and for usability. But anyways, we will get into those a little bit more later and show you those in another video, specifically about this company right here. So stay tuned for that video. One of the other awesome parts about having this rear bumper, we have this tire, we have these reverse lights, but we also have these 2 recovery points. Having proper recovery points on your car or truck or any off-roader is super important. And this thing, the crosstrek originally does not really come with any tow points. They have technically little tie-down tow points, but they are not nearly as heavy duty as something like this that you can actually yank on, winch from, tie off of. These are significantly better. We got 2 of them right here and there. So super amazing. And here's another example. It's honestly really important to have something or a place you can tie off from and do a recovery like this, or something other. Also super awesome to have the place to tow your friends around on a sled. So lots of uses from these recovery points on the F44 bumpers. And then let me open this up. By the way, just a simple little lever action to open your swing out. Unfortunately, I didn't lock it down one time, so this locking mechanism, which normally would lock it together, is kind of floppy right now, but easy enough. Normally it works quite well. So anyways, and last but not least, this rear bumper does have a hitch receiver, and for me, I accidentally was down. Oof, if I can get this even out. Here we go. But here's the hitch receiver. Just a standard, I believe, 2-inch hitch receiver. So for anybody who wants to hook up a bike rack or hook up maybe a small trailer even. Technically this is not rated to tow with, but totally up to you if you want to try. Or anything like that. Anything you need a 2-inch receiver for, it does come with one. So you are, still getting that extra functionality, and it's tucked up pretty dang tight compared to stock crosstrek's hitch receiver, which can be as low as down here proportionally. So pretty awesome little feature right here. And yeah, once again, I actually was down in Sand Hollow down in Utah, and we were doing an obstacle that has a pretty gnarly departure angle, or rather can affect your departure angle if it's not the best. And somebody lost their little Jeep cover. So, my little souvenir from Sand Hollow, showing that my crosstrek with this bumper had a better departure angle than whoever's Jeep this was on. So, kind of dope. So we'll close this back up again. It can be a bit of a challenge with one hand, but I should be able to do it. Just right there and closed, and this thing is going nowhere. I did, after having hit this thing a lot on rocks and stuff like that, or I've towed actually a couple of 8,000 pound vehicles with this using kinetic ropes. And after all of that, after a year and a half of some pretty gnarly abuse, I did start to have some issues with the frame rails that this attaches to, because this does replace your factory crash bar in the rear in terms of mounting. Let's see if I can show you guys somewhere. It's not going to show. I'll try and get some better footage and throw it in now. And here's a better shot of the supports we put in to help strengthen the bumper. But anyways, having that frame rail in there, it got a little bit weak at the very bottom of it. It has a couple cracks develop. So I had a good friend of mine, Gabe, he came through just the other day and welded it all up, added some extra bracing, and this thing is now significantly stronger. And I can once again start towing some more big vehicles like Super Duties, and I've towed a dump truck before. So this thing, like I said, is really awesome. Just in my use case, I've used it enough that it needed a little extra support. Super simple, but most people aren't going to have these same issues, at least not initially. But easy solutions with a little bit of welding and a good buddy, if that ever does become an issue. But as far as I know, I have not heard of anybody else with this bumper having that same issue. So it might just be my chassis thing. And keep in mind, this thing does have 180,000 miles, so it has gone through the ringer. And last but not least, I did say F44 makes more than just these bumpers. They also make these super cool wheels. These are actually the second set of wheels I've had from him. These were released earlier in the year. These are his SRD 555s. They basically look like a TRD wheel, just a couple modifications. Mainly, they fit our cars. They are a 5x100 bolt pattern, and they are 15-inch diameter. So, perfect wheel. A little bit lighter than, say, your Methods, which is really awesome. A little bit of weight savings there. And so far, they've been durable as heck. So definitely a big fan, definitely recommend them. And they have a couple others as well. And in fact, for I believe this whole month, or at least the next couple weeks from when I'm posting this, all of his wheels are down from in the 200s down to $149 per wheel. So if you're watching this and it's still the time frame in which you can go pick some up, I highly recommend these wheels. They have withstood a lot of abuse, as well as any of those other ones. I have another set, like I said, that I ran for 30 or 40,000 miles with tons and tons of abuse and relatively minimal damage other than some crazy rock scratches and stuff like that. So all of these wheels are amazing. Another really cool product that F44, the maker of these bumpers, makes. So once again, awesome wheel, definitely recommend it. And here's some extra B-roll, kind of just showing you some more action shots of just how useful these bumpers are. Here you can see me smacking the crap out of that rear one and just cruising along, totally fine. They really give you just that much extra clearance that you can really nose into a lot of these steeper things, or kind of like go up onto these shelves. Even if my skid plate didn't quite make it, the bumper did in this instance. So a lot easier to deal with a busted skid plate than a busted front bumper. So definitely worthwhile. Alrighty guys, so we have now talked about my bumpers, we have talked about tires, and I believe, what did we talk about? We talked about brakes as well. So this is the end of my third part of the video. I don't know what I'm doing, once again. So if you have any tips, any criticisms of what I've been doing, I want to make these videos as good as I can for you. If you have any questions about my bumpers, any questions about anything else, put them in the comments. I want to read them up, and hopefully I can answer them either in the next video or directly to you. So we'll see what happens. I'm trying to find this camera. It's so weird talking to a camera. But anyways, this is my car. I love it. I want to share everything I can about it to you guys. So tell me more. Talk to you later. Bye.